Welcome to today's Tea Time audio story. It's time to slow down, take a deep breath, and enjoy a moment just for you. As you sip your favorite tea, let your mind drift into the world of stories, where imagination comes alive and anything is possible. Listening to audio stories isn't just entertaining, it's also a wonderful way to relax, spark creativity, and improve your English in a natural and enjoyable way. Stories have the power to transport us to far-off places, introduce us to new characters, and remind us of life's little lessons. So whether you're here to unwind, learn something new, or simply enjoy a quiet escape, this is your time. Get comfortable, let your worries melt away, and allow today's story to take you on a journey. Let the magic begin. Change has a way of exposing what's real and what isn't. Leanna learned this not from the mirror, or the scale, or the strangers who now smiled when they saw her. She learned it from the friends who started standing just a little further away. From the laughter that grew quieter when she walked into a room. From the messages that stopped coming. She didn't notice it all at once. At first, it was small things. Subtle. A missed invitation here, an excuse there. Sorry, I forgot to text you. We figured you were busy. Oh, we didn't think you'd be interested. The words were casual, innocent, on the surface. But Leanna could feel the distance growing like a shadow between them. Her oldest friend, Maya, was the first to pull away. They had known each other since childhood, bonding over shared awkwardness and quiet afternoons. Maya had been there through every struggle, every tear. She had been Leanna's confidant, her support system. But lately, things were different. It started with missed calls. Then plans that fell through. And when they did meet, the conversations felt strained. Forced. Maya's smiles didn't reach her eyes anymore. One afternoon, they sat across from each other at their favorite coffee shop. The place where they'd spent hours talking about dreams and fears. But now, the air between them felt heavy, thick with things unsaid. Leanna stirred her coffee, searching for words. You've been distant lately. Did I do something? Maya looked down at her cup, her fingers tracing the rim. No, you didn't do anything. It's just, things are changing. Leanna swallowed. What kind of things? Maya hesitated. I don't know. You're different now. You're always at the gym, always talking about your new routines. It's like you're moving on. The words hit harder than Leanna expected. I'm not moving on. I'm just trying to be better. Trying to feel better. Yeah, Maya said, but her voice was hollow. And maybe that's the problem. Leanna didn't know how to answer. How to explain that growth wasn't a rejection. That her change wasn't meant to leave anyone behind. But the silence between them said it all. Other friendships faded more quietly. Less confrontation, more absence. The group chats that once buzzed with laughter grew silent. Invitations stopped coming. Inside jokes began to fall flat. And every time it happened, Leanna questioned herself. Was it her fault? Was she changing too much? Becoming someone they didn't recognize? Someone they didn't want to know? But deep down, she knew the truth. She was still the same Leanna. Still kind. Still caring. Still loyal. The only thing that had changed was how they saw her. And maybe, how they saw themselves in comparison. It hurt. More than she could admit. To feel abandoned, judged, resented. To lose people she thought would always be there. And the loneliness was sharp. It echoed through the empty text threads, through the one-sided conversations, through the memories that now felt distant, tarnished by silence. But Claire helped her understand. Growth can be lonely, she said during one of their sessions. Not everyone will be able to come with you. And that's not your fault. But why does it feel like rejection? Leanna whispered. Why does it feel like I'm losing them because I'm doing something wrong? Claire's gaze was soft. Because change makes people uncomfortable. Your growth challenges them in ways they may not be ready to face. It's easier to pull away than confront their own fears. Leanna blinked hard, trying to keep the tears from falling. I never wanted to lose them. You didn't lose them, Claire said gently. They chose distance. And that's painful, but it's also a sign of who will stand beside you in the long run. The words hurt, but they also helped. They gave Leanna permission to grieve. To let go. So she grieved. Quietly, painfully. She mourned the friendships that had faded, the people who no longer saw her, who no longer wanted to. She let herself feel the loss, even though it made her ache. She wrote about it in her journal, long letters to friends who would never read them. She wrote about memories, about the way they made her laugh, the way they stood by her through breakups and bad days. She wrote about the late-night talks, the shared secrets, the unconditional understanding she thought would last forever. And she wrote about how it ended. How silence replaced conversation. How distance replaced comfort. And in that grief, she learned something important. That not every friendship is meant to last. That some people are only meant for a season, for a chapter. That growth, while beautiful, comes with loss. But loss wasn't failure. It wasn't rejection. It was reality. And it made room for something new. Slowly, Leanna opened herself to new connections. To people who saw her for more than her appearance. People who listened, who cared, who didn't measure her worth by the scale. She grew closer to Ava, whose friendship became more than trainer and client. They shared stories beyond the gym, laughs beyond workouts. It was real. It was safe. And there were others, too. People who noticed her strength, her determination, her kindness. People who valued her heart, her mind, not just her progress. It wasn't easy. Trust was slow, hesitant. But it was worth it. Because it reminded her that she wasn't alone. And more importantly, she learned to stand alone. To find strength in her solitude. To value her own company, her own journey. To be proud of who she was, regardless of who stood beside her. She learned that friendships should be mutual, equal. Based on love and understanding, not jealousy and comparison. And she learned to let go of those who made her feel small. Not all friendships withstand growth. Not all connections survive change. And that was okay. Because the ones who stayed, the ones who truly saw her, were worth holding close. And she was worth holding close, too. Thank you for joining today's Tea Time story. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the world of imagination and storytelling. Whether it made you smile, sparked a new thought, or simply gave you a moment to relax, we're grateful to have shared this time with you. Thank you for listening and being part of our story time. Keep dreaming, keep imagining, and we'll see you again for another magical tale soon. Until next time, take care and happy listening.